Greetings and salutations, my dearest friends. My name is Samantha, and today I'm going to be talking about historical romances with Bluestocking heroines. Hello, how are you? Welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to Trope Week. If you don't know what Trope Week is, it is a series I've been doing on my channel quite a lot, honestly. What I do is I post back-to-back videos every single day for a week where I take one specific romance book trope and give you a ton of recommendations. I have a whole playlist with like 40 plus videos and all different types of tropes. I will leave the whole playlist down below. I'll say today I am feeling a little under the weather, so this video might be low energy, but I do truly love filming these videos, so here we are. Today we're going to be focusing on Bluestocking heroines, specifically in historical romances, because that is more of a historical romance term. Basically, what a Bluestocking is, it is a way to describe a heroine that is intellectual, very smart. Actually, they have a very unique job in a historical romance setting. I do have an older video where I talk about different terminologies used in historical romances, like what a rake is, what a wallflower is, the different time periods, like Regency and Edwardian time period. So it is an older video, but I mean, it's still valid, okay? I'm gonna link it down below as well. Let's go ahead and hop in. I have a handful of Bluestocking romances to talk about. Okay, so very first up, if you're looking for incredibly intelligent, independent women in your romances, I would highly recommend Amanda Quick. Amanda Quick is pretty much known for writing these sweepingly romantic adventure stories. All of her books have a very interesting plot and very independent, intelligent heroines who have really cool jobs. My favorites is Ravished, and this one, our heroine is an archaeologist, and she's like obsessed with fossils, and she goes into these caves by her home to discover different fossils and jewels, and she's realizing that there are some bandits in like the cave, like they're stealing gold and jewels and stuff. Ends up writing a letter to the Viscount, who is kind of in charge of that estate in that area, enlisting his help to catch these thieves, and it follows their romance. And this one is so freaking cute. It's sweepingly romantic. Definitely one of my favorite historical romances. Just recently for the Historical Hellions, we read Reckless. So she's known for like her adventure stories, but like look at her gorgeous stepbacks. She has these beautiful stepbacks in all of her books, and it's just stunning. And in this one, our heroine is a publisher. She's really interested in like old maps and history, and I really loved this one as well. The next one is Bluestocking by Christy Caldwell. It is literally in the title. I'm obsessed with this entire series. I'm a big fan of Christy Caldwell. I love her historical romances. They are all available on Kindle Unlimited with the audiobook, which I highly recommend. I will say it's best if you read this series in order, because there is a continuous plot throughout the books, because it follows the Caloran sisters and all of their individual romances. And like I said, there is like an external plot going on with each book. This one, it follows our heroine, who is the oldest Calorian sister, and she is trying to protect her youngest brother. I don't want to give any spoilers for the other books. Basically, her brother ends up getting sent to a lord's house, and she kind of like barges in there, demands to be his governess so she can continue to protect her brother and be with him. Follows her romance with our hero, Lord Edwin, who is quite a jaded hero. He does have ties to nobility, but he lost his wife and his son in a house fire, and ever since then he has gone a little crazy. Fully so, but Gertrude is like the first one who has tried to like really get to know him and been able to like break through his icy exterior. This one is really good. Our heroine is incredibly smart, incredibly kind. She takes such good care of her family. I just love this book so much. I love this whole series. Next up was my very first Lisa Kleypas book, and that is Suddenly You by Lisa Kleypas. This one is like falling apart at the seams because I've reread it so many times. This is what the step back looks like. Absolutely stunning. In this book, our heroine is about to turn 30 years old, and she is unmarried and still a virgin, and she decides that she wants to just live her best life. So for her birthday, she decides to go to like a Bordeaux and hire some male entertainment, okay? Basically goes with like the intention of hiring a prostitute, a gigolo, whatever you want to call them. That's kind of how our hero ends up meeting her. So he turns up at her doorstep, knocks on her door, and she mistakes him for the man that she hired for this experience, and it turns out that he is actually a publisher wanting to publish her book. So our heroine is an author, and our hero is a huge fan of her work. It's like this major like printing press where he plans to print a bunch of her books, and that's what he goes to like proposition her for, but they end up having some steamy times, and it's really good. I adored this one. Kerrigan Byrne is phenomenal at writing this trope. I feel like a lot of her historicals, they are a little bit of a darker historical romances, but they're so unique in their plot and her character characters, and one of my favorites is How to Love a Duke in 10 Days. In this book, our heroine is an archaeologist. Did I say the Amanda Quick one, she was an archaeologist? No, she's a paleontologist, like fossils. She's an archaeologist. Anyways, heroine Alexandria has some dark secrets in her past. I will give you trigger warnings for sexual assault. It kind of happens in like the very first chapter of this book. Like I said, Kerrigan Byrne does explore darker themes in her book, so just make sure to take care and read the trigger warnings. Our heroine is hiding a huge secret from her childhood, and she's being blackmailed. She has been paying off this person to keep the secret quiet, and she's running out of money, so she needs to marry someone wealthy. That is where our hero, the Duke of Redmond, comes in. He is looking for a bride, and he has some money on them, so they end up forming like a marriage of convenience. Love this one so much. This book made me cry. Our heroine had been through so much in this book, Fearful of Men, because of the experiences that she had, and our hero is so patient, so kind, just so loving to her. Show her like there is true love and pleasure to be found in intimacy with another person, and to see her journey as she is learning that and like healing from everything that she's been through. It is so incredibly written, and I love this book so much. It's also the first in a really amazing series. I think there's 3 books in total, and all of the heroines are these badass heroines. Like, one of them owns a gambling hell, the other is like a freaking spy. Like, this entire series is awesome. My last recommendation for the day is Lady's Guide to Celestial Mechanics by Olivia Waite, and this is a Sapphic romance. So our heroine is an astrologer, and her father just recently passed away, and she has been writing his correspondence. She had been helping him with his scientific endeavors. She's really trying to make a name for herself in the scientific community, but she's having a hard time because she is a woman. In writing her father's correspondence, ends up meeting our other heroine, who is a widow, and her late husband was a contributor of the scientific community, and now she is a benefactor that donates a lot of money to like research, so she has connections. Our heroine ends up staying with her, and she ends up being like her benefactor, but they fall in love. Like I said, this is a Sapphic romance, and the way they fall in love is so incredibly romantic. Beautifully written. I love the audiobook of this book. I think Olivia Waite writes some amazing historical romances. So those are all the books that I'm going to recommend. I know it was a little bit shorter. Let me talk about one book I have on my TBR. When I was looking for books for this video, this one kept popping up. It is Bluestocking Bride by Elizabeth Thornton. This one has really good recommendations on Goodreads, and it was like constantly popping up with this trope, so I need to read it. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was kind of like low energy, kind of short, but I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. If you have any recommendations with this trope, please leave a comment down below. I would love to read them. As always, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend time with me. It means the world to me. I hope you guys are all staying happy and healthy, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!